on my mission, it was really neat because I would meet people in certain areas and I would reteach them or re-meet them in other areas, which were different parts of the city or in different parts of the state even. And there was one woman we were teaching a lot of people where she lived, and she loved the Book of Mormon. But one of the people she was living with did not like how much joy she was receiving. And she had a pretty bad experience, which I won't talk about. But she ran away from this house where she was living. And it was raining, as it usually does. And she was walking down the street after running away, and she had her pajamas. That's pretty much it. And she saw this sopping wet backpack, and she decided to look through it to see what she could find. And inside of it, she had left her Book of Mormon there at the house that she had escaped from. And in it, she found a dry Book of Mormon in this backpack on the middle of the street. And I have no idea how it got there because we were the only missionaries in the area, and not sure who else was carrying a Book of Mormon in their backpack and how it could be dry in the rain, because it wasn't in a Ziploc bag or anything as far as I was aware of. And we were teaching this other family, and we decided to knock on the doors next to them, and the woman we were teaching appeared out of that door, right next door to our other people. And that was amazing. Some other people who lived in that house, I met them again in another area, and I taught them some more. And it turns out that one of the members in the ward was a best friend of theirs growing up, and they had both joined the church in their separate ways after making their lives better. And then the kids in the house, in another house that we were teaching, the house that the woman appeared in, I found that family of one of the kids in another area when we were knocking. And it was interesting because we were across the river in Long Beach. This was when I was in Astoria. And it was like a 30-minute drive back to our apartment. But we heard this sound in the tire, and we were like, hey, we need to go back, because if we get a flat tire, we can't fix it here. Like the nearest Les Schwab, which is where we went always, as mission rules to go to there to get your tires fixed, is like 45 minutes away. So we need to go and just get this checked out. So we drove across the bridge, and we went to the Schwab, and there's nothing wrong. So we decided, well, we can't go waste all this time going back to where we were. So we're going to go just plug in the first random address from our area book on the GPS. And turns out it took us to another part of our area, which was 30 minutes away. So it would have been the same exact time. But when we went there, we knocked on, it was a trailer court. And we knocked on the first door, and a drunk man, just shouted, come in. And we were like, oh. And he said, come in, you beeping, beeping, beeping. And he swore a ton. And he was happy with us, and he wasn't. He was atheist, and he was Christian. And he thought we were great, and he thought we weren't. And this man in the back bedroom shouted, send him to the neighbor's house, in this specific neighbor. And we were like, he's like, oh yeah, you should go see this guy, across the street and stuff. And he's like, you come back. And we're like, okay. And I think we did come back. He wasn't interested when we came back, but he might have been, I'm not sure. You'd have to catch him in a really sober state. But we decided to, knock the rest of the trailer park before we went to this house. And we found the people that we were looking for because the address was wrong or something. And she wasn't a member of the church, but she had been praying that the missionaries would come back. It had been 6 months since they had last seen her. And that was a miracle. Then we knock on that neighbor's door, and it turns out to be that family that I taught in one of my old areas. And so, I don't know. God doesn't play dice, as Einstein said. Coincidences are amazing because they're miracles. So I guess that's a good story.